Well, good Tuesday morning. Happy Tuesday to you. Hope you're having a great start to your day. Welcome into the show. I'm your host, Monica Adams, and you're tuned into the Real Monica Adams Show. It is a busy one today. We have 3 guests for you. We'll be checking in with Angie Hess from Spas and More. She's going to do a workout for us inside of a swim spa with rowing equipment. Yeah, stay tuned for that. That's never been done on the show before. Jeff Lovecchio, former professional hockey player who now is training thousands and changing their lives. We're going to talk about his own career in the NHL, as well as his fitness career for himself, and then how he's changing the lives of so many athletes, hockey players across the world, what he can do for you, and how he suddenly has become a keynote speaker and that love that he has for speaking. And then we get a chance to talk to Alan Mingo Jr., who plays the Wiz in The Wiz on at the Fabulous Fox Theater, which opens up tonight. And tune into the show throughout the entire show. You don't want to go anywhere because we're going to give you tickets to go to Wednesday night's show. So make sure you're free tomorrow night. We're going to send you off to the Fabulous Fox. Pretty cool, right? All of that thanks for you tuning in to our show day in and day out. And remember, tell your friends, text them, tell them we're on right now. We've got a great show lined up for you. Also, want you to know about what's coming up later this week, obviously for Thanksgiving as you're making your plans, and it's a busy travel season, as well as into the weekend. We mentioned this yesterday as we get into our weather, that you do have a mix coming. Now they're saying more snow. So let's start with that this morning. We're going to go to weather and then into the news you can use. So first of all, weather-wise, here's what you can expect if you are in our immediate area. Otherwise, if you're outside, let us know where you're watching from as you're all getting ready to start tuning in this morning. We have a stray shower, 58 for the high today, down to 35 tonight. It is going to be very chilly as we go into tomorrow. A chilly, windy day, 45, partly sunny, 29 for the low Wednesday night. And then we get into Thanksgiving as you're with your family and friends, 42 degrees. So if you eat that turkey and then go out for a walk, bundle up, down to 24 Thursday night. And then this is where it's changing. Friday, we have some nighttime snow rain mix expected, 39 for the highs. Saturday, snow and rain is being predicted as well, 40 for the high Saturday, and very cold rain on Sunday, 40 for a high as well. We go into Monday, more of that sticking around, 40 across the board, and then we get into the upper 30s on Tuesday. Same thing pretty much on Thursday of next week. We get into the mid 30s and those lows into the 20s. So we went from having this crazy warm weather pattern, and we were up in the 80s, just 2-3 weeks ago? And now here we go, jumping pretty much straight into winter. So be prepared. Again, get all the things that you need, stock up at the store. Not saying as far as the timing yet, but as we get closer into the latter part of the week, be sure to be paying attention to your apps or to your favorite meteorologist so they can update you on what's coming snow-wise and if there's actually any accumulation. Right now, just talking about this mix. I just mentioned very busy travel season. So some of you already maybe have family that have come in. If not, Wednesday by mid-afternoon, very packed roadways. And here are the most dangerous roads during the Thanksgiving travel period from Wednesday through Sunday. Last year, more than 49 million Americans hit the road for Thanksgiving. And unfortunately, according to the National Safety Council, one of the most dangerous driving holidays in the United States. Using data from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, researchers discovered a few concerning trends for Thanksgiving travelers. Speeding, of course, a major issue. And despite Uber and Lyft helping to reduce alcohol-related traffic fatalities by 6.1%, drunk driving remains an issue on Thanksgiving. You know, we were talking about it just the other day, saying that the Wednesday before Thanksgiving is called Blackout Wednesday. All the people going to the bars, it's one of the busiest bar nights. This is where we want you to take Uber, Lyft, etc. Progress stalled in 2011. Fatalities have been on the increase. Some of the most dangerous roads are outside of the populated metro areas. In San Bernardino County, I-15 is actually the number 1 most dangerous. And then in Okaloosa County, Florida, LA is actually on the 3rd and the 4th list of I-5 and I-605 if you're heading to Ascension Parish, Louisiana. I-10. Also, I looked, majority of them are again out in the California, Florida area. Fortunately, St. Louis isn't on that particular list. Wyoming and Alabama have the most fatalities per capita by a wide margin. That doesn't sit well with me as I'm getting ready to travel to Alabama. So stay away from us. If you're on your phones, just again, please be very careful. Okay, from a healthcare standpoint, our president getting ready to unveil some new information for you that has to do with a healthcare cost proposal. If you're just tuning in, we're running through some news you can use before our guest this morning. According to three people familiar with this matter, President Donald Trump could unveil a plan to address rising healthcare costs as soon as Monday. The timing and the content of the proposal could change, but it appears to address expiring Affordable Care Act subsidies. KFF estimates the cost of premiums could more than double if the pandemic-era assistance ends. Democrats said their government shutdown fight was an attempt to stop that from happening. The Senate, by the way, is set to vote next month on a related bill. We'll give you an update on the story about the TSA workers. Remember, they were out of work for a while or being told to continue to show up without pay. Well, now they're getting back pay. I'm so glad to see this is happening. 90% of the TSA workers have already received back pay. The rest will receive their back pay in the coming days. The TSA workers missed several paychecks during the country's longest shutdown, and now tens of thousands are feeling the relief. The TSA expects to screen, by the way, nearly 18 million travelers during Thanksgiving week. Well, if you live in St. Charles County, some residents are asking for sound barriers so they can't even go out and have peace and quiet right outside in their own driveway or in their front yard because of the sound right here around 364. And we're seeing a lot of movement out west. Residents on Knollwood Court near St. Peter's and Cottleville between Highway 94 and 364, they want a sound barrier to block the 364 noise. They say it's especially bad during rush hour, and it's a group of residents who can hear Highway 364 all day long. They want something done about it, so they're actually asking for this proposal, the possibility again, of a sound barrier. And if that amendment passes, it could be voted on with the entire St. Charles County budget coming up in December. All right, how many of you have been to the St. Louis Aquarium? I have. How many of you have seen Scuba Claus? Yes, I said scuba, not Santa. I haven't seen this, but I've covered this on the news over the last several years. Scuba Claus has made the debut this year at the St. Louis Aquarium. The two, Scuba Claus and his elf, took a dive in the Shark Canyon yesterday with a waterproof list of who's naughty or nice. It was Scuba Claus's first dive of the holiday season. Scuba will be around for a select amount of holiday weekends starting on Black Friday. All right, look at this home. Are you a fan of Lord of the Rings? Do you have a lot of money? And I mean millions and millions. Lord of the Rings inspired Utah home on a secluded site is asking $43 million. And I love this line. Not all those who wander are lost, right? The property includes a hobbit door, a library, a gym, a pool house. I mean, these pictures are amazing. In fact, I'm going to copy this and so you can see everything. So if you know somebody that's got $43 million just kind of sitting around and they're a Lord of the Rings fan, they may love this. So yeah, look, these pictures are just absolutely stunning. Don't get me wrong. It's gorgeous, but wow, 43 million. I guess if you're a big fan, this one's for you. If you are a fan of Guns N' Roses, you're going to be happy about this. If you remember, Axl Rose played in St. Louis, like we're talking probably 20 years ago, and was banned. I think they finally lifted the ban, but banned because of the chaos that happened at the time it was Riverport. Well, Guns N' Roses announcing a world tour and 2 new songs. So if you're a fan, you're loving this one. The tour will take the band to South America and Europe before they hit the United States in July of next year for 18 shows in North America, as well as I mentioned, some new songs that are coming out. So I just pulled up the page, and they are in fact coming to St. Louis. So the band is gone. The band, I should say, is gone for the band. So August 16th. Ticket pre-sales for the world tour will be coming very soon. So if you want to see the full rundown, if you're a Guns N' Roses fan, you want to see the full rundown, look in the comment section. We just dropped that in for you. Also, if you're a fan of the movie The Exorcist, they tried to run at this a couple years ago and it failed miserably. Well, let's see if this one works out. What do you think about her being involved? Scarlett Johansson to star in the new Exorcist horror movie for Blumhouse Universal. And again, that as I mentioned, they had an ill-fated effort to launch the franchise with The Exorcist Believer back in 2023. So Johansson will star in a fresh, bold take on The Exorcist. All right, we're going to get ready to talk NHL and hockey in just a second. Wish my guest would have been able to bring the Blues some luck. The Blues lost again. I keep trying to come on to give you better news about this. The Blues lost to the Rangers 3-2. Now it's the Blues against New Jersey. The Devils tomorrow night. The puck drops at 6 o'clock. And then they come back home against the Ottawa Senators. That'll be on Friday. That game is at 3 p.m. All right, and here is your National Day of calendar. Play Day with Dad. I love that. My guest, by the way, is a dad. And so Sophie, his daughter, gets a chance to play with him. National Play Day with Dad today. National Parfait Day. It's Blase Day. And a shopping reminder, as if you need to be reminded that it's just weeks away from Christmas. And if you are like me, you haven't even started on your list, good luck, right? But today is our reminder. We better get our shopping done because we have weeks. We are now weeks away from Christmas. There you go. It is 7:12 and you're all up to date on what we consider to be news you can use. We're going to take a break and we're going to have a first ever. We've got rowing equipment inside of a swim spa. That's right. We're going to check in with Angie Hess and I'm going to have my guest, Jeff Lovecchio. You may know that name. He was in the NHL with the Boston Bruins, Florida Panthers. We're going to talk about them going overseas and playing and then getting this itch to say off ice, or I should say off season training and off ice training, how important that was for him and now how he's changing the lives of thousands. So Angie and Jeff, our guests coming up, and then stay tuned for Alan Mingo Jr. from The Wiz, a packed show here on The Real Monica Adams Show. Welcome to the mobile Monica version of The Real Monica Adams Show at my favorite restaurant. There's something about a coffee house that's just very warm.
That sense of community.
What are you most proud of since you've opened it?
I cry easily. I'm thankful for everybody here.
You opened the door during the middle of the pandemic. You got the best Italian restaurant in the United States. Here in St. Louis, you put us on the map. Does it scare you? You go through fear?
Terrifying.
So how do you get past the fear?
We find something to laugh about.
Welcome back. Thanks again for tuning into the Real Monica Adams Show. So now you're all up to date in news you can use. Now we get to get into our show. So many times we get a chance to check in with Angie Hess. Angie is the owner of Spas and More, one of our many sponsors. We love her so much, she and her family. If you have not been in, even though I've been told that a lot of you have been going in, I love that. Support those that support us, right? They're located in that Sunset Hills area. You can go in and say, oh, maybe I want a swim spa. Maybe I want a cold plunge. You've heard about contrast therapy. They've got the sweaty goat and the chilly goat there, right? The goat with Michael Phelps. They are the world's largest manufacturer of swim spas, again, as well as the master spas. If you're looking for a hot tub, and it's not for the luxury side, it's for the wellness side. And that is what Angie loves. That is my idea when I talked with her about coming on. And she's like, yes, you get us, Monica. We do. Well, let's check in with her. And while we do that, I also am going to introduce you to my guest, Jeff Lovecchio. Angie, by the way, meet Jeff. Jeff, I know Angie, by the way, is a big fan of hockey. So yes,
Yeah.
So she's in the swim spa today. She's going to introduce us to the workout aspect of it all. So you actually put rowing equipment inside the swim spa. Is that right, Angie?
Yes, we do. Our exercise package comes with rowing arms and resistance bands, so that you can do more than just swim in it.
So there's rowing arms. Okay. So I when you told me you wanted to put rowing equipment, I'm like, is she taking a rower and setting it inside? No. The answer to that is no. So have you done this before?
I have.
Do you do it regularly?
Not with the rowing equipment. Mostly I like to get in and exercise against the current. Right now I've been stretching up in the current and doing some leg kicks against everything.
I love this. So again, if you are just tuning in, Angie Hess. So Angie is on her own transformation journey, and she's been on that for a while. She utilizes all of this. And, one of the things, Jeff, also she deals with, and we see this a lot in the wellness side, is whether it's an autoimmune disorder, the inflammation in a body. And she's always talking about how this is so beneficial. Do you do contrast therapy, by the way?
Yeah, absolutely. I had a hot tub and cold tub at my house and sauna. I brought one of them to one of my gyms. So now I only have the cold tub, but I have sauna and cold tub at my house and at one of my gyms.
Again, so beneficial for the body. So let us see you do it. So as we talk about, have you ever been in a swim spa before?
I have not.
Okay.
Looks awesome.
Right? So look, this is how people stay in shape. And when they still want to get in water, and we're obviously talking about snow already coming up for us this weekend, people are like, well, I want to still be able to get in water. The swim spa is what you do because you can stay in that all throughout the winter. So she's got those rowing arms in there all the way to the back. I love this.
That's so cool.
Right?
That's unbelievable. I tore my MCL once in my career too, and most of my rehab was in a pool. So like anything that you can do in a pool is great for elderly populations, people who have injuries to, elbow, knee, wrist, foot, ankle, anything where you can't be having a ton of pressure. You can still get great workouts in without having to pound on your joints.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. A lot of people hear us talking about working out and the Fitness Fridays or Workout Wednesday, and they're like, Monica, I'm coming back from an injury, or, hey, I haven't done anything in a long time. I always say, Jeff, get in water.
Yeah, 100%.
If you can, get in water.
100%.
It's easier on you.
And it's harder than you think it is.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
You tread, even just treading water.
Yes.
They made us do that in college, and we would do that like on Wednesdays, and it was so hard.
It is. And so here's the thing. I always laugh because people go, oh, whatever, those women going in and doing their water aerobics. I'm like, oh, okay, good luck. How about you come and try it?
Seriously.
Right? So once again, Angie Hess is inside of a swim spa, which they have for you at Spas and More. Look she's got the rowing arms and is able to do this workout in water. I've never seen this before.
This is so cool.
Right?
Yeah.
Angie, so if you're going to be doing this type of a workout, how often do you do this and for how long?
Realistically, you could do this 2 or 3 times a week. You could do it every day. 15, 20 minutes increments are best. And then you couple that with swimming against the current or exercising against the current. The one that I'm in right now is the 15-foot Challenger. So it's a variable speed drive system, so you can actually make this current as soft and smooth or as intense as you want to be able to get all the resistance and swim against it. So like right now, this is about medium speed, and we can go up a lot higher.
I mean, seriously, I've never seen anything like it. I've been involved in the fitness industry, since probably 99 as a trainer. I've never, ever, ever even thought of having rowing equipment. I mean, you think about doing water aerobics and you have the paddles, right? It's the similarity of the resistance against the water. Angie keeps coming up with these really cool ideas. She got into the cold plunge for us on the last show. And it was so funny, Jeff, because as soon as she got in, I was like, I was talking to her. I could see it was regulating the breathing. She's like, hold on.
Ask me a question in 2 minutes.
So how's your journey going, Angie, by the way?
Doing well. I kind of hit that plateau. So once you hit a plateau, you have to change up your rhythm and you change your exercise. So I've added some tools outside of the water, like a vibration plate, weights and stuff. So everything just couples to make a really good, excellent home workout.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. So if it's the workout aspect, we're very big into the wellness side. That's why Spas and More and the Real Monica Adams put our brands together, because it just makes sense. So whether it's a swim spa, whether it's a hot tub, whether it's the sauna, all of these things Spas and More has for you. Again, they are located in the Sunset Hills area, right there off of Old Gravois and Ronning Road. I just want you to go in and go to their showroom. It is just absolutely stunning. All these master spas that are there for you. And then spread the word. If it's not time for you, but it's time for someone that you know, tell them, hey, we love the Real Monica Adams show. Hey, why don't you support them? Or what a great Christmas gift this would be.
Honestly,
wouldn't you like to have that?
Honestly, I'd love to be in there with her right now.
I know, exactly. Well, Angie, thank you so much. Do you have any big specials coming up as we get ready to have Black Friday?
So we are running our end of the year sale on all of our 2025 models. So save up to 50% off of manufacturer retail pricing. We still have delivery dates open before Christmas. So we're looking to fill that calendar and bring everybody the gift of health for the Christmas season.
Okay, I love it. So there you go. You want to surprise your family, your friends, and here's an opportunity, and they can actually get it to you and deliver it. Angie, thank you so much. This was the coolest thing. You keep coming up with so many incredible. I can't even imagine what's on tap for the next time we see you. By the way, my friend, have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
You too, Monica. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
All right, it's Angie has Spas and More. Please check them out. You can go on and follow them on social as well at Spas and More STL. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Jeff just mentioned how great it smells in here.
Oh, unbelievable.
Do y'all love the Christmas?
Just
my husband's
smells
probably
like happiness.
why? I told Jeff my husband doesn't like to celebrate another holiday until the other holidays finish. So he probably is like, wait, why is Christmas on set with you? Because you won't let me do it at the house. So by the way, we want to thank Mark Coulter with Christopher's. That's where you can get these incredible candles that smell just like Christmas. All of these decorations, by the way, are from Christopher's. And we're going to be there for our big holiday show, December 12th. We would love to see you, whether you watch online that day or you actually come in person. 7 a.m. Life is like a precious pearl. Christopher's in Kirkwood, a live mobile Monica show. We cannot wait for that. So you can get all the yummy smelling candles that you want and get yourself decorated up and also get some clothes for yourself. They've got an incredible boutique for men and women as well. So that is, again, December 12th, mark it on the calendar. All right, Jeff and I are going to visit about his hockey career, about his fitness career, and speaking as well, so much more, and being a dad. Sophie, right?
Sophie, the best thing
How
that's
old
ever
is she?
happened to me. 14 months.
Oh my goodness. There we go.
Yes.
See, today is Play with Dad Day. So there we go. They're going to hang together. All right, Jeff Lovecchio, my guest when we return.
I was just on the Real Monica Adams show, and it was really a good experience for me. When I walked in, the building is just peaceful. The environment is beautiful here. Monica really made me feel welcome.
The Monica Adams show allows people to be themselves. It's really important to share kindness, to be real, to offer stories and things that will give people hope and a reason to smile.
Rather than waking up aggravated, disappointed, and wondering, where's this earth going, choose to wake up with something that'll put your mind and your heart in the right direction. Start with Monica.
Welcome back. All right, if you're just tuning in, again, there's so much that's jam-packed into this show. If you missed Angie Hess doing rowing inside of the swim spa, drop the mic. That was incredible. You got to go back and watch that. Spread the word that we are on multiple platforms: Facebook, YouTube, X, Instagram, Rumble, LinkedIn, and we've added Twitch. So 7 platforms. So you can't complain and say, I don't want to be on social media. you can, but then you can go over to YouTube and you don't have to deal with Facebook or all the negativity of the world that they think is there. So Jeff Lovecchio, let's give you a little background. So Jeff, you played hockey in St. Louis.
Yeah, I grew up in St. Louis, and then I played a year in Chicago, my sophomore year of high school, 3 years in juniors in Omaha, Nebraska. I got a scholarship to Western Michigan University. After my junior year, I signed with the Bruins, and I was with their organization for 3 years. The Panthers for half a year. I got traded to them. I played for their farm team, and then I finished my career. Italy, Norway, Austria, Norway, Japan, Austria.
And what did that teach you to be playing in other countries?
Actually, then I didn't really know what it was teaching me. I started my training company because of all my concussions and my injuries, which is why I left the U.S. and decided to play in Europe. But I got to work with like in Japan, almost none of my teammates spoke English. There was only 3 imports. So it's a really hard league to get into because they pay well and they only take 3 imports, and it's a lot of ex-NHL guys or guys with really good numbers from around the world. We had a translator on the ice with us, translate. So the coach is up there speaking Japanese. We had a translator who would stand with the 3 imports. So having to speak to your teammates in mid-game, communicate with them, and some of their English was literally 5%.
Oh my gosh.
Couple guys maybe 10, 20%.
Wow.
But to be able to converse with them quickly and get it, you gotta pick up cues and it's just, you had to learn a lot, and also there was different societal norms and just one of my teammates got in a car accident, and he was my line mate, and we were the best line in the league at the time, and he didn't play for 2 weeks because this woman that he got in the car accident with, it was her fault. So he wore a suit every day to the rink and stood in the coach's office in the corner. And when they would walk past him, he would just bow, and he was just there because he was ashamed. It just very different culture than what we live with here now. But, looking back on all those experiences, they made me a way better communicator, a way better coach, somebody, I don't know, who I think has the ability to zoom out a little bit more because of living in so many different places.
How old were you when you were over in other countries?
I signed probably when I was 22, so I probably maybe 26 I started going over there, and I was there 26 to 32 when I retired.
Again, you consider all the opportunities that you have, and at the time, do you appreciate it? Or you look back and go, oh my gosh, I did that?
Yeah, no, I mean, both. Honestly, both. You can't really truly appreciate it when you're in the moment, but then when I zoom out, and when I talk to my friends who own businesses and do really great things in the world, you have this experience that almost no one has. And so to be able to look back on that and really contemplate the things that I learned and what I saw and the value in being able to see the world and not just go there for 2 weeks. I was living there for 7 months, 8 months a year in all of these different countries, learning different languages. If you're not in the NHL, it's probably the next best thing.
Absolutely. So in all the places that you had a chance to go and see, and then the different countries that you were in, all of the people that you met, what language were you most drawn to?
Probably Japanese.
Really?
Japanese was really cool.
I hear it's very hard to learn.
Well, yes, Hungarian. I was in the Austrian league. My team was right outside Budapest in Hungary. The Austrian league was probably 8 teams in Austria, and then 4 or 6 teams in surrounding countries right on the outskirts of Austria. Hungarian was really hard to learn. Norwegian wasn't terrible. Italian wasn't terrible. It's similar to Spanish, but Japanese was just so different. I think Japanese was easier than Hungarian to learn. But I went to Japan towards the end of my career, so I had already been in 3 other countries with 3 different languages, and I think that helped me maybe pick it up a little bit easier. And apps kept getting better and better and easier and easier to use.
You got these in earpieces now. Wow, you know all these languages.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, if you're just tuning in, I know a lot of you tune in every second. Jeff Lovecchio is my guest, and if you have any questions or comments for him, I'll keep an eye to the page, and I know a lot of you are big hockey fans. So what do you think about our current state of the Blues?
Honestly, I don't watch a ton of hockey. I work a lot.
Yeah, you do.
I work a lot. I get home. I have 5 locations that my company's running. I have multiple online training verticals within my business where I do mentorship stuff with coaches and gym owners. People trying to kind of learn how I've done things online in person. I also started a mentorship program, advising program for current youth hockey players, all the way up to college players. And then I have, all of the online training I do with teams and individuals and organizations around the world.
So you pretty much get up at what time in the morning?
At 5 usually.
And what time do you go to bed?
11 or 12 usually.
Ooh, so about 5-6 hours of sleep?
Not enough. My worst health habit when I was playing was not sleeping enough, and unfortunately it continues today. And it's probably the most important habit you can possibly have. I am definitely getting a little bit better. My wife is unbelievably structured with her sleep, so she kicks me out of bed when she's falling asleep. I go downstairs to my office, work a little more, trying to get in a routine of getting things done a bit sooner so I can go to sleep earlier.
And you're seeing pictures of his beautiful family right now. She is Fit by Kiki.
Yes,
on Instagram.
Yep.
You can follow her there. So how did the two of you meet?
She DM'd me on Instagram.
Actually,
she slid into the DMs. We were working for the same supplement company at the time in 2020, and I had posted something about them, and with her job, she's an athlete with them and high up in the company, and so she commented or something, and then I put like some stupid. I was doing the Instagram thing back then where I was probably a little thirsty. I think I posted a picture of my shirt off, and I was saying, I was like, don't do crunches, do this thing instead. And she was like, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like you're yelling at me with this. And then we started talking, and since that DM, that was it.
Okay, so look, for all of you that think it doesn't work, he's living proof. It does. If you're interested, just go for it, right?
Exactly.
Find your voice. So when did you two get married?
We got married in 2023.
And then Sophie came.
Sophie came in 2024, actually, September 14th, 2024.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I just got that tattoo last week.
Here's what's funny. Okay, speaking of tattoos, so I was looking at Kiki's, Fit by Kiki's page, and I saw something where she was like, look at this dress. I think she said slay queen, like, right? I look great in this dress, but regretting tattoos. She's like, but my husband looks hot with his tattoos.
Yeah, she says that all the time. She doesn't like her. I like her tattoos, but yeah, she lets me get mine.
My husband always used to say, do you think anybody's ever going to regret as they get older and older and older? I'm like, it depends on the person.
Yeah, definitely not me. These are all from, I started this sleeve right after I signed in the NHL. I actually had a really bad accident where I fell into the boards going full speed. I was unconscious. I lost memory. I didn't play hockey for 15 months.
Oh my gosh.
My career was definitely altered because of it. I was never the same player again, unfortunately, but I started getting tattoos in this sleeve. Flowers all have a meaning, and like as I was just starting to come out of the fog, like I was seeing doctors 5 days a week in Boston, and it was a crazy process. It was a really hard time in my life for a good 8 months there, but I was able to come back from it and play 9 more years professionally. And so, anytime I use tattoos to remind me of things, they all mean something. My grandfather passed away recently. He used to always say on the ice, leverage is everything, but also like learn your leverage in life, learn your leverage in business, and create leverage and use those things. So, I will tattooed here. I look down multiple times a day, and I have to say 3 goals that I have every time I look down. Just things that my grandparents honestly taught me to always be writing your goals down, always have them on the top of your mind. And then I learned about The Secret and the law of attraction and all of these things. And they're a major reason that I got a scholarship. I signed in the NHL when I wasn't super skilled. I wasn't the best player growing up. Like I had to really, really work at it to earn those things. And so that's what I try to teach, all the clients that work with me worldwide now.
Right. All the people who don't believe themselves. I love the fact that Jeff just said, writing it down, taking it. We say this before, there's science behind taking it out of the brain, putting it on paper, speaking it out loud then.
Yes.
It's all those levels. It's the reason why I'm very big on the whole know your value journals that we have is, fill those up. And we've got more to come for you in the spring. By the way, we're launching some new know your value merchandise. But you have something like you're looking down, seeing I will. On the front of that, something that inspires you or gives you intention
100%.
when you're not believing in yourself.
100%. I wrote, my grandma used to always come, lived in Chicago, but she would come to St. Louis often, and whenever she would leave little Post-it notes like all over my room, on my mirror where I'd brush my teeth. She'd always write, if it is to be, it's up to me. That's right. And I remember when I was younger, like I did buy into it, but I was kind of like, it's a little bit corny, but like, the more that I leaned into that and like started doing those things and writing my goals down all the time and speaking, I don't let anybody speak negatively about themselves in my gyms when they're training with me, not even like joking around. Good. I'm like, no, you're hurting your confidence when every time you denigrate yourself and you say negative things. It doesn't mean that you're good at everything.
Right.
You can say, I need to work on this, but it's not I'm bad at, I can't, I won't. Like I literally do not let people put the self-limiting verbiage in their vocabulary, because it will affect your conscious actions.
Right. You hear it, you let it seep into you. It's like poison and toxicity. Yes. You start believing it. You and I are similar in that. My clients know that I say, oh, what's that C word? We women don't like the other C word. We don't like that one. I was like, literally, you replace the A and the U. We don't like either one of them.
I love it. I love it.
No, can't. No, I don't.
Yep.
Right. I don't deserve this. I don't believe in myself. Then it's like, right.
But it's so like people hear that stuff, and people who haven't like been exposed to how impactful and powerful that is, they don't believe in it. But I challenge anyone for like 30 days, write down your goals every single day, a few times a day, read them. I tell my clients, put your goals on sticky notes on your steering wheel, next to where you wash your hands, on the mirror where you brush your teeth. I used to write them on the home screen of my phone for every season. And this is before you had the Face ID thing where you'd pick up your phone and look at it, would open. That wasn't a thing. So you'd have to type in the codes. But every time I turn over my phone, I would have 3 goals for the season. I will get this many points. I will sign a contract for this much money next year, whatever they were. And I made it a rule for myself that I would have to read them before I would put the code in.
Love it.
And you think about it, a lot of people open their phone 50 times a day, 75. If you're doing business on your phone, 100. Right. And I would not allow myself to open my phone until I read the goals. So if you think about, even if it's 50, you read them 50 times a day, times 7 days a week, that's 350 times 4, what is that, like 1,400? Like it just compounds. But then what happens is when you come to a fork in the road to make a decision, I could go this way or that way, deep down, because you're always stating your goals, saying I will, you're going to make an unconscious decision to go in a way that aligns with your goals. A simple one I always say, like if you go out to eat and it's like I'm trying to get healthier and you get a burger, you can get a burger and fries. You say, instead of fries, I'm going to get broccoli. That's just one little decision. But if you're constantly saying these things, I will be healthier, I'm going to work on it, all these things, when you come to that fork in the road, it's not going to be like something you think about. You're just like, I'm going to get broccoli.
It's an easy choice.
It's an easy choice. And then your unconscious thoughts start to influence your conscious actions. And it's life-changing because it's one little thing at a time throughout your day. Maybe it's 10, 15 things. But again, that snowballs into 7 days a week, 4 weeks a month, 50, like it just bang, 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 bang,
But you
bang.
have to start.
You have
and
to start.
And you don't throw it all and go, okay, I'm just gonna do all these things that Jeff and Monica are talking about, and then you get overwhelmed because this wasn't your life and you try to do it all.
Exactly.
That's when it doesn't work, right? Smaller steps, and then they attach and then they become part of your life. We're gonna take a quick break. This guy really, truly kicked my butt. And that is rare that I ever say that. I've been in this industry for a long, long time, and I'm the one usually kicking people's butts. But I went to the STL Fit Fest, which was so amazing, by the way. Kudos to all that put that on. And so I walked in, and you had all these opportunities of things to do. And I go, well, I'll do this one. And they go, well, it's a little bit more advanced. And I go, yeah, I can handle it.
Booyah. And you did. And you did.
We're going to show you that. So don't go anywhere. More with Jeff Lovecchio when we return. And Faith, we can't thank you enough. One of our many sponsors, she provided this gorgeous picture that's on set with us. faithburger.com. You want to talk about an incredible interior designer? It's her. Faith at faithburger.com. You can also go on Instagram, faithburger.art, and then check out the wonderful program she's involved in. Canvas for Kids. What an amazing program and organization. canvasforkids.org. Faith, so I appreciate it greatly. Again, thank you to each and every one of our sponsors. If you're interested in putting our brands together, which means that thousands and thousands of people get eyes on your business, it's all about positivity. That's how we wake you up. Hope, motivation, inspiration, all the good things, right? Shoot me an email, info@therealmonicaadams.com. Once again, my guest today, Jeff Lovecchio. He played in the NHL. He then played over in overseas in other countries, learned so much from that. How many languages can you speak?
Well, now only English, but it would be like one. I'd have one. I went to Italy first, and I learned a good amount of Italian, especially since I had Spanish background in high school. But then the next place I went was Norway, and it was like all the Norwegian came in, and it pushed all the Italian out. And then I went to the next place, and this would go out, and the new one would come in. So
well, it's a good point to think about. If we stay with something and it attaches to us, right? We're thinking about the wellness side, the fitness side, working out. If you do it for a little bit, let it go, then the body's like, okay, and then the good thing is there's good muscle memory, so
yes.
Hopefully it'll come back if you did it for a while. But if you let it go for too long, that's what's going to happen.
I always say if you don't use it, you lose it.
You do.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to show this video. All right, this is him kicking my butt, by the way. I love this movie. Here's what I really loved about Jeff is he would come around, it's that very individual approach of small little changes. So he had me angle my foot different, and it changed what I felt in my obliques, my core, deep aspects of my abdominal wall. Having the ability of the strength to do that. And as I know you do and I do as well, it is someone looking at that going, I can't do that. So you would modify for them.
Right,
or
just regress.
Level up.
Right. Yeah, you can there's a regression and a progression to every single exercise. So it's never like, oh, I just can't do anything. It's no, where are you right now? Well, let's start there. And then as you get better, you progress. Didn't go to the gym and be able to do 34 pull-ups on day one. I was able to do probably 3. And then, a year later, you're doing 10. And then a year later, you're doing 15, right? It's just always working for progress, not perfection.
So here's what I want to know. I look at when I became a trainer, which was 1999, and I've been training clients ever since. But I love the evolution of what I'm seeing, whether I think it's more so in sports, right? So I look from the athletic standpoint. I see you training athletes all over the world, and I'm looking at some of your Instagram videos, and I was like, yeah, see, all those things, we didn't learn all that.
Right.
So where do you think that evolution started?
Strength training for athletes started with a lot of like powerlifting, I think. And then as athletes became better and better athletes, it was like, well, we need to keep doing things that translate outside of the weight room. And that's not to say that you don't do the basics in powerlifting or, bodybuilding, hypertrophy, things like that. But there's just a certain point where, okay, now there's a point of diminishing returns. We need to work on things that translate a little bit better to relative strength for whatever the sport is. Like even when I was in college, like we were lifting like power lifters a lot. Mm-hmm. Luckily, like because I won testing, starting at 18 when I really got into training at 17, I won testing everywhere I went the rest of my career. So strength coaches kind of let me do my own thing. Mm-hmm. So I kept, I'd always be picking their brain. I'd always be reading books. Mike Boyle's Advances in Functional Strength Training. When I signed in the NHL, I read that book on the plane. I completely changed from a lot of bilateral, meaning like double leg, like a traditional back squat and things like that, to more unilateral, which I believe, and I've proven for the last 18 years that you don't need to do any certain thing. You should do what gets you the best results for your sport. Sure. A lot of newer coaches, newer trainers, they want to, show the coach, all their numbers went up in the weight room. And yes, you want their numbers to go up in the weight room. But if their numbers go up in the weight room and they're not better at their sport, or they're getting injured, that's not what matters. Right. The best ability is availability, first and foremost, at the pro level. If it doesn't matter how good you are 1 in 10 games. It doesn't matter if you get injured all the time, how strong you are. What matters is availability and being able to hit your maximum abilities in your sport over and over and over. So for me, it was just trying to find the best way possible to help athletes play better in their sport.
And that's the whole thing. We're going to look at some pictures of you when you were playing and then training as we talk about this. So when you see yourself training, doing, and then others are starting to notice, right? It's really that discussion of, well, wait a minute, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Well, oh my gosh, I've never even tried that before. What's this exercise? How much mobility training do you work in for you and for your clients? Making sure that men understand how important it is to stretch, yoga, Pilates, all the things they never used to want to do.
I try to incorporate everything into like every day, which is like a lot of people go after like one thing a day, but I use mobility, flexibility, what I call prehab. Rehab is what you do after you get injured to come back from an injury. Prehab is trying to quote unquote bulletproof your joints. You're never going to be able to negate all injuries, but you're just trying to work on the tissue, the joints, the structure around them, making them structurally sound as you possibly can. So that's all part of our warm up. And then we go into things like coordination, the vestibular system, which is so important for athletes and the elderly, spinning around and not falling down, things like that. And then we go into speed, power, and then strength.
Again, when you are training, what is your greatest, you said you go from 5 a.m. until 11 p.m. at night. You have to love what you do. You have to have this incredible passion burning inside of you. So as you complete each day and you come back and you look at who you've impacted, what is your greatest reward in that?
I mean, maybe a little bit of it is, selfish in the standpoint that because of my concussion, I never got to have the career that I was, hoping to have and on the trajectory to have. And it's not like I was going to be a superstar. Definitely not. I would have been a third, fourth line NHL player. And for how long, who knows?
Yep.
But, it definitely impacted my career, changed the way I had to play, things like that. I got multiple concussions after my really, really bad one. But anytime I can help any client, any person reach a goal, it kind of like fills that void, that hole in my heart that I will never be able to go back and fill by, ultimately accomplishing the things that I had set out to accomplish. So for me, it's like if a kid goes from 1 goal to 10 goals in a season, or he goes from the AA team to the AAA team, or one of my guys gets a scholarship, or, they sign a pro contract, for me, it's like the greatest thing in the world that I had a small role in helping them achieve that. So for me, like that's why I attack every day like I do.
And he does, by the way, and he gets you to attack, and he works on your mind, works in your spirit, works on the body. All of that has to work together. Again, whether it's young athletes, young hockey players, you train how many in a day's time?
A lot. In the off season, when I personally am coaching guys in the business, we have up to like 140, 150 a day on Mondays and Tuesdays. Thursdays, Fridays, it's about a little over 100. And then we've got all the guys online. In season right now, GMT, that's my company, Give More Training. I have 4 amazing coaches that work under me, and we're running 5 training locations in season for around 3,500 players in St. Louis, just St. Louis alone.
Again, there's the information for you to know more about Jeff. You can follow him on Instagram. I highly recommend you do so because he'll motivate you, his own shows that he puts on, and then guest on other people's shows as well, at Jeff Lovecchio on Instagram. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I want to thank you, first of all, for what you and Will Be Inspired do for our first responders. My husband's a lieutenant with the county police.
Oh, awesome. And
so I understand the importance of taking care of every part I just mentioned, their spirit, their mind, their bodies, while they're playing, while they're in their field, as well as when they retire and they feel like they've lost their identity, which unfortunately is something that we see a lot. We see it with professional athletes. We've talked about before. Presidents of companies, CEOs, suddenly that's stripped away and they don't know what to do with it. So what do they do with that? So we'll talk a little bit more about what he just came off of, and you also won a belt. I'll tell you what that was all about. Don't go anymore. More with Jeff Lovecchio when we return.
When you want to feel good, you work out at Crunch. You don't go here, because here feels bad. But here we help you feel good, feel strong, feel rejuvenated.
Join Crunch Fitness today.
what up? Welcome to my pride and joy, my home gym.
Let's go.
The gym changed my life. It transformed me as a person. It's the reason I was able to get a scholarship. It was the reason I was able to play 10 years professionally, see the world, travel the world, and play all over. And it's the reason that I do what I do now, working with all the athletes that I do. I decided that I wanted to have an unreal space at my house that I could train, that I could film for all of my clients all over the world and teams that I work with, and then also have a space for my elite high-end clients to come over, kick it at the house, get in good training on weekends, use the sauna, use the tub, whatever. It's just a really cool space to have people.
Welcome back again as you're tuned into the Real Monica Adams Show. If you have any comments now or you watch this later, do a little hashtag replay. If you have any questions for Jeff, though, while we're live, feel free to drop those in. For those of you that are like, I just need motivation. We get it, right? Don't wait, though, till January 1st. This whole thing of, I'm just going to, you've got several weeks left. Why not start now? There's no better time than right now.
Just one small step. There's a book by my friend who's a sports psychologist. He helped the Cardinals win the World Series in early 2000s when they won, called Relentless Solutions Focus. Anybody who has a problem starting something like that, a journey like that, I would encourage them to read that book. Basically, it's like, okay, I understand what the problem is or what the blockage is. I have 60 seconds to sit in it, and then I have to immediately take action, whether that's this big of an action or a mile. Just get that ball rolling. Just one positive action that's getting me closer to my goals. And if you do that, your life literally changes. It's wild. It could be the smallest step forward, but the way I think of it is, it's like those old cartoons where the snowball starts at the top of the mountain. You're just getting that snowball rolling, and after you take that one positive action, you get a little bit of confidence. You get moving in the right direction. I can do this. And that snowball starts to grow and grow and grow, and then all of a sudden it's an avalanche of you going after your goals,
after
right?
Your goals.
Yeah.
There, look at how fast my director is.
Yes.
Relentless solution focus. I
Yep.
love it. All right.
Yep.
And I know my viewers all love getting turned on to new books. So this one, again, put it in your repertoire or ask for it maybe under the Christmas tree.
Wow, he's good.
Yeah,
That was
I
fast.
know, right? Just to help you, again, get to your goals. So I went into the break, two things. I was looking at your video, and I'm like, is he playing rock, paper, scissors? And then you get a belt for it. Did you just say you won $1,200?
Yeah, it was like $1,250 in prizes. I didn't know that I was winning anything. I think it was like a $50 buy-in, and there was 250 people in the room watching, and it was like, okay, if you're in the rock, paper, scissors comp, stand up. And I think I won like 10 or 12 in a row to get up in front of everybody, 250 people, and won the belt. So, and I told Will, he texted me, he's like, hey, we're doing this belt. And I go, oh, buddy, I guarantee you I will win this. And when I did, he was just dying laughing.
I think I saw him say something of, we're going to hear about this for the whole
Forever.
next year.
Forever. I wore it all around St. Louis for a week. Everywhere I went, I had the belt on. So ridiculous.
And I'm sure he constantly reminds his wife, I'm the champ.
Oh, yeah. She'll pull the bed down, the sheets down, and I'll just have the belt laying under the cover sometimes. I'm like, that's who you're married to. That's right.
Oh, Lord. Okay. And I also went into the break saying, thank you for what you do to help our first responders. So have you always been passionate about police, firefighters, et cetera?
Always. I wanted to be a firefighter whenever my hockey career was over, but because of my concussions, if a stiff breeze hits me wrong, I'm probably getting a concussion now. Yep. So, it's not something that was in the cards for me, but because of so many first responders and military veterans having trauma to their brains through, grenades going off near them or, whatever it may be. I understand that. I've been through that quite a bit. And then the loss of the locker room for an athlete is very similar to the loss of the brotherhood in the military, the Navy, police, firefighters. It's very similar. So, you're physically exerting yourself every single day. You give everything you have for your teammates, for those around you in both fields, athletes, first responders. So for me, there's a lot of synergy in, losing the locker room for me and the injuries and all of those things and what all those brave men and women do. And I also just think that, we send all this, and not to get political, we send all this money away outside of our country, and we've got all these veterans that need our help and are not taken care of. And I've seen it, I've been doing it for years, and it's just not okay with me. And so, I'm not some uberly rich guy. I can't just give them money to help them. So I try to do what I can with my skills, motivate, get them into the gym, make them have fun, create a environment they want to be in, to work out in. As you know, there's no like medicine that you can take that works as well as vigorous exercise to change your mood. So for me, creating community, hooking up with Will from Will Be Inspired, who's just an amazing, amazing human being. We do our free veteran and first responder workouts twice a month.
Oh, twice a month.
Twice a month,
And where do you
every
hold
single
those?
month at my gym in St. Peter's at the Recplex.
Okay.
It's my newest location, biggest location. So he has a DJ come out. It's super fun. Supplement Superstore's first form. They're giving away free supplements when they come out. It's a great time. Everybody has a good time. Doesn't matter if you have a bad injury, you're healthy. We can progress or regress the workout, and everybody just has a good time. We're trying to create community here in St. Louis for all
Thank
people
you.
like that.
Thank you for doing. So how do they get involved if they want to be a part of it?
If you follow Will Be Inspired, that's WILLB Inspired on Instagram, or myself, Jeff Lovecchio. We put out on our stories what days we're doing them of the month. You can, I'm sure you can go to Will's website, reach out to Will, and you just come. They're free. You come anytime.
All right, I want to see you train my husband.
I would love it. Let's go, baby. Let's go, Hubs.
Oh, he's giving you a shout out. Okay, speaking of which, he's talking about how many gyms do you have now?
I run 5 locations, my company. 2 of them are mine. The other ones are satellite locations.
Okay, and then your home gym is ridic.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So I built that to work out in, because I love going to public gyms, and part of what I do is like just helping people and speaking to people. But sometimes when I go to gyms, I wind up talking the whole time to people, asking me questions, which I want. I absolutely want that. But sometimes I got to get my work in. So I built a gym for myself, and then as I built out my online company, I do all my filming now for my online training in my basement, since it's a full gym, and it's really nice.
It's gorgeous, and you were looking at some videos, and you were like, it's so fun to see what it was and what it's become.
Yeah. Well, you were showing an ad that I had made in 2020 for my first time doing online training, and that gym looks nothing like that now. So it was really, all my gyms I try to have look like my basement here that you're showing, with the tan and the black and logos and everything. And I've learned from First Form, because I'm a First Form athlete, been with the company a long time, love St. Louis, love what they do for the world. I've just learned that the customer experience, the client experience is so valuable. And so when somebody walks into one of my gyms, I want them to know what they're getting themselves into, and the care and the love that I have for each space, and how much I methodically plan out the layout and the equipment and everything like that. So the goal is that they'll all look, similar to this as we keep moving forward.
So if someone's building their home gym and they're like, oh, I don't have a lot of money, what do I even start with?
Reach out to me, because I'll help you. What I would say is, you have to decide, your budget, number one, and then B, how do I like to train? So like, if you're somebody who is only using barbells, I'd say stop, you can do better. But no, I would say then you probably want a squat rack, a bar, and some plates. What I suggest to everyone building a home gym, especially because it's usually on a budget and it's usually tight on space, get a set of power block dumbbells. I have 12 to 14 sets, 8 in one location, 12 in one location, 14 in another location of the power block dumbbells, because they only take up 2 feet, and you get dumbbells from 5 up to 100, or like I have the ones that go up to 175. Wow. But they take up no space at all. So a lot of people are putting a home gym in their basement, in their garage. Space for me is everything, because the more space you have, the more things you can do. Sure. So I always say start with the dumbbells and a bench. And then from there you can build. The next I would buy would be what's called an anchor. He was showing that on the video there. You can attach it to a squat rack. You can attach it to a wall via a track. But it's basically an entire cable system in a little tiny package. And it's a fifth of the price, a sixth of the price. They also can travel with you, which is really cool. So when I go out of town, I throw them in my suitcase in case I'm in like a crappy hotel gym. I at least have that no matter what. So dumbbells, bench, anchor would be the first things that I would suggest. And then you build from there.
Are you fans of, for people that, let's say they're trying to throw something into they're flying, right? They're trying to throw something into their luggage. Are you a fan of bringing bands along?
Absolutely. So like, that's why the anchor is so cool, is because it pops off the rack and it's like barely bigger than this coffee cup, and you can bring it anywhere. But yeah, like I don't go anywhere without like my gym go bag where it's got,
you never know what you're going to have.
Right. Bands, sliders, jump rope, mini bands, the anchor, and I'm set. No matter what, I can get a great workout with just that.
you were doing, and I was like, okay, I so want to do this. I think it was one of your more recent videos. You were doing a stretch, a pigeon. You had a band wrapped around you,
on the
anchored behind
diagonal,
you,
and it pulls
then one of the
you.
sliders.
Yes, it pulls you deep into that hip socket. It's unbelievable. A lot of people have done a pigeon if they've done any type of yoga, but when you do that, not only is it pulling you deeper into the stretch, then you drive your knee into the ground and you pull yourself forward. So that's the difference between flexibility and mobility. Flexibility would be just holding the stretch.
Right.
Mobility is loading the stretch, and mobility is more important than flexibility. When you work on mobility, you're getting more flexible. When you work on flexibility, you're not really getting mobility. You want to be able to load deep positions, and that's what that variation of that pigeon does.
It's an aha moment for so many people. We were addressing this in my training session with my clients the other night, and they're like, I cannot do this. I'm like, that's a problem, right?
Yeah.
And as you get older, so if you start as a young athlete with mobility training, functional training, all the unilateral, bilateral, all of that, just watch what happens with your body throughout looking at your parents and grandparents when they didn't do it.
Yes.
How much better off your body will be.
It's so important. We get one body. I mean, I just think it's an absolute crime that school doesn't promote physical preparedness for life. It's a crime.
What happened to the presidential award? I used to love that.
Exactly. Yeah, I'd kill it. Yeah. And I mean, it's just, it's you get one body. Like if break your leg and now you can't go to work, you see how important your body is. Right. It is just so important. And when we talked about already, like physical wellness leads to mental wellness as well, because there's no drug. Every study shows that there's no drug on earth that is as quickly, as efficiently and effective to snap you out of a bad mood or a bad headspace as vigorous exercise.
Agreed.
It's just so important.
Again, we're not trying to get you addicted to anything, but I'd rather you be addicted to, this is what I'm going to turn to get through what I'm struggling with.
Right.
Which I do want to thank you, by the way. There was a video you posted at the event that Will Be Inspired put on, and you're like, I wasn't going to post this because I don't like to go to dark places, but you talked about, and I love this part that we do on the show regularly, especially with men, when they open up and are real, and how many people in that room, and then by you posting it, how many people are impacted by you saying, look, I went through depression. Because here he was saying, I wanted to be on a certain level, and then I couldn't, and then the concussions pulled me away. But there, God said, we're going to have you do this. And now look at how many thousands and thousands of people he's impacting. But you said that you were in a dark place. You were driving in your truck, and many times thought, I'm just going to turn into a lane and end my life.
Yeah, right off a bridge. I mean, I was not the most skilled kid growing up. I was obviously good to get to the levels I got to, but it was a grind for me to get to even earn a scholarship, to become captain as a sophomore. I was the only sophomore captain in all of Division I hockey that year. To sign in the NHL, all these things, and nobody would have ever thought would have been possible for me. And then to have a freak accident, kind of derail my career and change the trajectory of my career and my life. It was very, very hard at the time. There's no doubt about it. But, looking back at all the lives that I've been able to positively affect with with our podcast, with, my online training, my in-person training, my social media, I was thinking about this the other day, even though it was the worst thing ever and the hardest time of my life, I wouldn't change it because of what it's allowing me to do now and what I think it's going to have me do in the future for people.
And it's so hard for people to see themselves out of the darkness at that time.
Yeah.
But now you get to step outside of your body, look back and say, look what I would have missed out on if that had happened.
Right.
I mean, again, all the levels of people you impact, your beautiful wife, your gorgeous daughter.
Yeah.
You and your wife, by the way, I saw that. I love this video. Is it with Bauer?
So I was with Bauer, a Bauer athlete or whatever, Bauer partner. And, they had us we were actually, a company she worked with, Vitality, flew us out to Colorado to do a shoot for, one of their new lines. And, she's just such a cool person and so genuine. So we filmed a little ad for Bauer while we were out there filming for Vitality. And, at first I was like, I don't want to be on your social media. But now, the more my wife does it, I just look back, and especially, my daughter's 14 months now. So now I can just look back at all these things that my wife has documented, and they're they're all there. They're easy to find. So like I love using social media for that way now, like just like chronicling my life, especially because I work a lot. So it's like I'm going from one thing to the next all day, every day. And when I can take a break, and every night my wife and I sit in bed and we look at our photos of our photos of our daughter and videos of our daughter from the days and weeks before, and just reminisce and try to, hold on to every moment we can. It's been really cool. And I'm just so grateful that she documents it all.
So if you said that there is one main thing, I know this is going to be hard now because there's a lot of great blessings in your life, but what is the most proud that you are?
Oh, being a dad.
There you go.
There's no doubt.
Girl dad at that.
Girl dad. I mean, I thought forever I wasn't going to have kids because I was working with so many kids when I retired and the few years before retiring with my company as it was growing. I was like, I can't leave working with 140 kids to go home and then be dadding another kid. And what an idiot I was. It's the most important, most just beautiful thing that's ever happened to me.
How has it changed you?
Everything. Perspective. I mean, just what's really important in life. I mean, I would gladly give up everything I possibly own, have, whatever own, just to give her a better life. Like her and my wife are all that matter to me.
She melts your heart up.
Oh my God. I'm such a softie now. Like I got flowers on my arm. Obviously I'm in tune with my emotions, but having a daughter definitely changes you. But my God, she melts me every day.
Oh my gosh. I love it. I'm so happy. It's so fun for people to say, nope, I'm not going to have kids. And then all of a sudden it's, oh, that changed my life.
It's
right?
the great, and now like, I don't know if you feel this way, but the messaging, I just turned 40. The messaging towards me and my generation, I feel like was like, you don't need to have kids. Right. Be a boss. Like, go do this. It's so much better. And it's like, no, it's not. This is the thing that, like, as soon as you have that baby, it's like, whoa, this is what life is about. Mm-hmm. And that's no shade to people who really don't want kids or whatever, but like, when you have kids, you're like, this is what life is supposed to be about. And
that was a really powerful thing you just said, Jeff, of not listening to all that noise around you.
Right.
Whether you're consuming it through social media or your friends are saying, dude, you don't need a kid.
Yeah.
Right? You have to do what you want.
Yes. So
and just
stupid.
block that.
So stupid. It is literally all that matters. I mean, it's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, Jeff Lovecchio, we're going to wrap up. Again, I want you to know where you can follow him. So the majority of your training, whether it's online, is it more in group as opposed to one-on-one?
So I have team training where teams and organizations reach out to me and I build out training programs through an app called Train Heroic where there's videos of me coaching and demonstrating everything. But those are based on their specific schedules. I also have, since 2022, I believe, so last 3 or 4 years, I've put out my own workouts that anybody can join every single day. It's only $35 a month. I've had over 230 people doing them with me for the last 3 straight years, every single day. People love that. That's something I'm trying to grow, and you can regress or progress it. But what's really cool is any veteran or first responder can join my daily workouts for free. All they have to do is reach out to me, and for life. For the rest of my life, as long as I'm doing that, you will get those workouts for free. I've got tons of veterans that do it, tons of first responders, and it's just another way that I can try and give back.
Oh my gosh, I love that. So they just reach out to you? And
just reach out to me. I send them, the directions to get the free code and everything, and that day they'll have workouts on their phone for the rest of their life.
Fantastic. Yes, I love this. Always working for progress, not perfection. Amen. Good one. That's a good comment, LaTanya. I love that. So for all of you that are just tuning in, if you've missed the show, go back, watch it. That's the beauty of streaming, by the way. We'll also be taking some reels and stories from today's show and dropping those in. When we return, I'm going to ask you, as you look at everything that you've amassed in your life, whether it's looking at your playing career or looking at your wife, your daughter, everything, what is left on your plate, right? So there's a lot of really great blessings, but we always have this would be great as well. So we'll ask that. Just a little rapid fire questions also with Jeff. And then don't go anywhere. Alan Mingo Jr. from The Wiz, the actual Wiz, will be joining us coming up next.
Thankful to Monica for having me on the show here today. I just love having the opportunity to try and help other people. There are a lot of people in my life that were there for me in my time of need, and that was important for me today to talk to Monica about that. You can get low and then work yourself back up to where you want to be. And people around you can help you do that. Surround yourself with the right people. That's what Monica tries to do here with this show. In fact, I know that's what she wants to do, is she wants people that are like-minded to help each other, to point each other in the right direction, to lift each other up, not put each other down. It was amazing for me to sit in here and talk with Monica, and hopefully it helps somebody along the way. I know that every show that she puts on is fantastic. It's worth your while to be tuning in every single day. Don't worry about some of the negativity around the world, whether it's on TV and this, that, the other. Tune in here to Monica and let her tell her story as well as her guests tell their story. There's always something that you can get from somebody else, and just one little thing that helps you, that makes this a success. And that is why I'm here with Monica today.
All right, welcome back again, the Real Monica Adams Show, overtime. You had several OT games. We're going overtime today with Jeff, and then we're going to get into Alan Mingo Jr. Can't wait to tell you all about the Wiz, and stay tuned for that because I'm going to give away tickets to the show tomorrow night at the fabulous Fox Theater. All right, so again, you've amassed a lot in your career. Yes, I'm sure you would have been like, oh, I would have liked to have had this happen, but then this is anybody in life. You see how your life shifts, and then you're like, oh, that's why this happened. That's why this happened. What else would you like to come for your life?
I love professional speaking. I did my first, I've done a lot of speaking since I retired in 2018, to hockey teams. I've been on well over 100 podcasts, other podcasts. I think we've done probably 400 episodes of our podcast. We have over 2 million downloads, which has been really cool.
Sure.
Love speaking. Last year, I had a company reach out to do a keynote speech for their company. It was probably a couple hundred people that flew into St. Louis that I spoke to, and that was really, really fun.
Yeah.
I really enjoy. I don't like the word motivational speaking, but like it is, there's obviously a motivational component, but just trying to help people, realize how to win the day. That's like the most important thing, because what I've learned from my own career as a hockey player, as an entrepreneur, as creating multiple successful, verticals in my business and helping other coaches create successful verticals in their business. It's just like showing up and winning today. Like that's all that matters. You can't worry about the past. You can't change it. You can't worry about the future. It puts you in a rocking chair where you're moving, but you're not going anywhere. It's like show up and just give everything you can to whatever you have right now where your feet are. And if you do that over and over and over consistently, like your life goes like this.
Absolutely.
Just getting people to realize that don't get lost over here. Don't get lost over there. Right above your feet, whatever's in front of you, attack that, be a good person, and you're going in the right direction.
And again, being present,
Yep.
and it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks about you or
No.
wants you to be, or you're starting to get successful, you're doing your weight loss, you're getting to your goals, they're going to chatter over here, try to
yeah.
block you.
Oh, yeah.
No, you don't need to do that. Eat the cookie, eat the
Yeah.
cake,
Oh.
come out and drink with us.
It's crazy. I
It
had that
is.
my whole life. And
Yep.
I had teammates, no one ever made fun of me because everybody respected me. But, in the locker room, guys chirp. And
Yeah.
even coaches sometimes chirp me. Oh, Vex has got his water bottle again. Or, oh, Vex, you got your protein shakes, Vex? And I'm like, yeah, I do. And look what happened in my career versus guys who were way better than me. And then, what are you doing on Instagram when I started that? And, oh, yeah, now you see what that's done for me and my
Sick.
businesses and all these things. And, if people aren't chirping you, you're probably not trying hard enough.
Exactly. Let them. Let
Yeah.
them talk in other
Yeah.
rooms.
Yeah.
The whole let them theory, I absolutely love.
Love it.
Okay, so when you are working out, what's your favorite music to listen to?
It depends on the day, honestly. It depends on my mood. It's either going to be like hard rock, metal, screamo, or EDM probably.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's either or. One of those two.
You're not just listening to Motown music.
No. I want to get to the point where I can listen to podcasts so I can get better while I'm getting better.
Right.
But sometimes, usually when I work out, that's my time where I try not to answer the phone. I try not to answer texts,
your
DMs,
time.
emails. So it's like if I put music on, it's just like, this is me time. I've got however much time is allotted in my schedule. Like, let me attack this right now.
Do you and your wife work out together?
We used to pre-baby. Now, not really. I mean, she's with the baby a lot, and I'm working a lot. So unfortunately, like usually it's ships in the night. Like I go to the gym, and then I come home, I watch the baby. She goes to the gym, she comes home, I go to work. It's a lot of that. But what I'm really proud of her for is like she finds a way to do it. She finds a way to do it, get to classes if that's what she needs for the motivational when she hasn't slept enough. And she's like, I probably wouldn't go work out on my own. So she goes to our friends that own F45 in Chesterfield, Levi and Chelsea Thomas, unbelievable people. So she'll go there and they push her, or she'll do her own. She has her own online program that I helped her set up. So she'll do that at home if she needs to. Yeah.
Again, looking for an accountability partner, somebody that will keep you, working towards your goals. You mentioned the podcast. So how often does it drop?
We release a full-length episode every Monday, which is usually about an hour, and then we release 2 10-minute episodes, one on Wednesday and one on Friday.
And so audio and video?
Yes, there's YouTube. They take clips, put them all over the internet, and then every platform that's out there.
The Hockey Think Tank podcast.
Yep, Hockey Think Tank podcast. Yep.
I love it. Well, my friend, you are welcome back on the show anytime you would like. I love it. And thank you for the workout. I love the fact that he's doing this for our military and our first responders. So reach out to Jeff if you know someone that, again, is in that aspect of military or first responders and what he's offering to them. Also follow him. Follow Will Be Inspired when they post about what they have coming up. We had a recent guest on LA that are you two doing things together?
I had her come out and speak to one of the organizations I work with about the mental side of things, and any players online that are looking for a mental coach, I set them up, see if it's a good fit. But yeah, she's an awesome person.
See change, right? If you haven't seen that show, we'll drop that in for you. What are you doing for the holidays?
We're staying in town this year for Thanksgiving. Kylie's parents are coming in town, and they're the best grandparents, so that's awesome. And then we'll probably go to Chicago for Christmas. That's what we do usually.
Well, I hope you have blessed holidays.
Thank you.
By the way, obviously, I know you have Sophie. Do you want more kids?
Yes, we're hoping. So fingers crossed that God blesses us and we can have more.
Amen to that.
Yes.
Again, I love it. He is a girl dad. Jeff, thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'll let you kick my butt one more time.
Yeah, anytime you want. Anytime.
No, we will do this. He is a very, very good trainer. All right, stay tuned. If you're a fan of taking your kids to the theater, maybe the Muni or the Fox, and maybe you've never done it before and you're looking for the very first show to introduce them to, you might want this one. The Wiz, Alan Mingo Jr., who plays the Wiz. He's going to be our guest when we return.
When you want good, you work out at Crunch. You don't go here, because here feels bad. But here we help you feel good, feel strong, feel rejuvenated.
Join Crunch Fitness today.
He's on down the road. Come on, he's on down the road. Don't you carry nothing that might be alone. Come on, he's on down the road.
And he's on down to the Fabulous Fox because that is where the Wiz is going to be. So good morning. If you're just tuning in, we're going to talk about the Wiz, the North American tour of the Wiz. So it includes a stop right here in St. Louis, November 25th. This is a great thing to do during the holidays through December 7th. So when you think about unique gifts to get somebody, this would be it. Take them back, like me, to your childhood. So do you remember the musical? Do you remember the film? We're going to go all the way back 50 years from the musical standpoint, going back into the 70s. So we're going to talk today with Alan Mingo Jr. with 30 plus years of Broadway experience, including Kinky Boots and Rent and The Little Mermaid and The Lion King. He is back. He is reprising his role as the Wiz from the Broadway revival production. And we're going to hear all about him. We're going to take you back. And I can guarantee you when this is over, it's going to be an earworm. You will not be able to stop singing. Let me bring my guest on. Alan, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I am fantastic. I did a show this morning and I was telling Alan that I had to change. I wanted to get green on for you and then have a really cool background for you.
I love it.
All right. Well, we're going to get to know you. We're going to go back and we're going to let everybody know that's never seen it before what it's all about. But Alan himself. So where were you born? Where'd you grow up?
Okay, I sort of grew up in Willingboro, New Jersey. That's sort of where I found my love for music. And then, sort of in high school years, I moved to Montgomery County, Maryland. It's sort of when I discovered that I kind of wanted to act. And it was really sparked from watching this movie. It was be something in my family would watch every year. And seeing people that look like me and act like me sort of inspired me to sort of do this as a profession.
And you were how old?
Ah. I want to say like 13, 14 is when I sort of began to see the movie and realize, oh, and I would sing along with not only the movie, my mother had the vinyl for the Broadway show, and still I didn't put the two together. I just thought it was a different version. When I went up to college, ironically, we did The Wiz for my first year in college. And that's when someone had to explain to me that there was a difference between the Broadway show and the movie with Diana Ross and Michael Jackson. As a matter of fact, as a theater scholarship winner, I was cast as the Yellow Brick Road, and I sort of was disappointed. And I had to ask, well, I don't understand what is the Yellow Brick Road? And one of my professors had to tell me they're guides. They're sort of someone who helps Dorothy along her journey. And I go, well, that was not in the movie. What's going on here? Like, what's happening? He goes, no, the Broadway show came first, and
Yes.
then they made the movie. And I
That
go, ah,
the cart before the horse, right? Which way? Which way
yes,
was it?
yes,
Is it the chicken or
yes,
the egg?
yes.
So yeah, so those of you that don't know, we're talking 1975. The Wiz premiered on Broadway, became an instant sensation, going on
Yes,
to win 7 Tony Awards, including Best Musical, Best Original Score, Best Featured Actor in a Musical, Best Featured Actress in a Musical, choreography. It's just absolutely amazing. So we're going to show you some pictures as we go through all of this. But yes, so Alan, for those that haven't seen the movie nor the musical, tell
uh-huh.
them what it's all about as we go down the yellow brick road.
Sure. I kind of tell people that the Wizard of Oz or the Wiz canon has been one of America's best folklores. Usually, our audiences come in sort of knowledgeable of knowing what a Dorothy is, what a lion, a Tin Man, a scarecrow are, but they get to see our version, and I kind of say it's sort of a funky version of the story that you all know and love. The great thing about this musical is that we sort of um, turn the music on its ear. I
Mhm,
mean, when it came out 50 years ago, it had a lot of funk, it had
mhm.
a lot of rock, it had a lot of gospel. That's still the same today, but we
Okay.
sort of took out a lot of the underpinning of the songs
Ah.
and reorchestrated them. We've sort of turned solos into duets and trios and quartets. So we've really sort of expanded the music so it can introduce a new audience, but then it's still familiar to those who know and love it.
Well, and that's the thing as we're looking through this. So these should be iconic pictures to you. It should bring you back and go, oh, yes.
Yes.
Or if you've seen the movie and you haven't seen it on stage, the adaptations are different. That's what I love, Alan, by the way,
Yes.
because I don't care how many times a show comes through. I always want to go back when you fall in love with it. I want to go back and see again because it's going to be delivered a different way. Maybe some
Yes.
new aspects are put in, as you're saying. Don't you encourage that same?
I do. You know, I'm kind of a purist sometimes when a show is revived, only because I want to see how it was done back then.
Yep.
And even for this version, I will tell you, uh, when I've been in two other versions that were supposed to go to Broadway, two other Wiz versions that were supposed to go to Broadway. So when I got this call to come to Broadway with this version, I said it's not happening. Like I've done this before. They said, indeed, it's happening. And I got to first rehearsal and I was all prepared with my lines. And all of a sudden, the stage manager walked up to me and said, did you get the new script? And I said, what? There's a new script? And he goes, yeah. We sort of added some work to it. And I actually instantly got mad. I went home and read it and had my first nervous breakdown in my whole professional career.
Why?
Um, and because I just sort of wanted to do it the way it was
Tradition.
meant to be done as a purist.
Yes.
But the director's a friend of mine. We worked together back in Ram. We both had a Broadway debut together. So I knew her very well. I called a mutual friend to say, how do I tell the director that she's messed up this beautiful piece. Our mutual friend said if you were the director, you would want to know. So have a conversation with her.
Yep.
The next day I went in and I said, I hate to say this, but you sort of really messed with this whiz, and I don't understand why. And she said, I was redoing this for my 14-year-old, for my teenage daughters. And I wanted them to understand that sometimes adults lie to children, and they have to find a way to sort of navigate through that on their own. And I said, oh my, I had nothing to say other than, wow, you have a clear vision of this version. 50 years later, you have a clear vision of what you want this Wiz to be. And so I have to go along for the ride. And so that allowed me to sort of create my own Wiz, knowing the shoulders in which I'm standing on, the Richard Pryors and the
Yep.
Andre DeShields who've done this before. I know what they've done, so now I get to create my own. And so now I've sort of fallen in love with reimagining and re-envisioning old musicals where I would say before this project, no, I kind of want to see how it was done because I knew people fell in love with it then. So let's see if people still fall in love with it now.
Right.
But this re-envision is very smart. It introduces a whole, it sort of is inviting to a whole new younger audience as well. We're really conscious of being in the social media world
Yep.
today where things move faster.
Right.
This show moves a little faster, and we sort of reorganize some things that are not the way it was supposed to be back in the 70s, including adding some of the movie
Oh.
to the stage version.
Okay. Well, you just
Yeah.
talked about socials, by the way. I do want you to follow Alan on
Yes.
Instagram at Alan Mingo Jr., the Wiz online, wizmusical.com. And they're also on X and Instagram and Facebook. So when you go, as I said, head to the show, take pictures, tag at the Wiz Broadway. So it's at the Wiz B Way. Do that so that they can see all that. And you really,
Yes.
and I think sometimes people wonder, do the actors really care if we're posting and we're saying this or that? Yes, it's no different than the applause afterwards, but
Of
then it
course.
lasts there on social media of
Of
what it meant to them,
course.
right?
We absolutely love it. Please tag us, and you'll see us sort of repost a lot of people's stuff.
Yeah.
With this musical, it's unlike any other musical I've done, and I've done a lot of family musicals
Yep.
like Donkey and Shrek,
Yes.
Sebastian and Little Mermaid. I've done a lot of that kind of Simba and Lion King.
Mhm.
The difference with this version is that when people come to meet me at the stage door, they have to tell me their connection, when they first saw it, who brought them. I would get stories like my grandmother brought me to the first original stage version as it toured the country, or I saw the original on Broadway, and now I'm bringing my niece and nephew,
Yeah.
or every Thanksgiving we'd watch The Wiz, the movie.
Oh,
And now I'm actually bringing my daughter for the first time to see the play. It's it's constant. I don't know what it is about this show where people have to share how they were connected to it. And like I said, I've done a lot of family musicals where I may hear someone say, I sit my kid in front of uh, Lion King all the time, but this is different when you have a connection and you remember who introduced you to it and why you're now introducing a whole new audience to it. It's kind of wild that it happens.
well, again, and you just mentioned something, and I say it all the time. Every time I bring someone on, it doesn't matter what the musical is. I
Yeah.
always go back and say, I can remember when my mom and
Yes.
dad introduced us to the Muni here in St. Louis, which is incredible. If you
I
right,
love the Muni.
which, by the way, I saw that Mike Isaacson was a producer on this. So
He's
Mike
the
and
lead
I
producer.
became friends all the way back to his time at the Fox. Now he's with
Yes.
the Muni, right?
Yes.
We are so blessed with really, truly incredible people that were either from here and then go and tour in New York and all over the world,
Yes.
come
Yes.
back. They love that. So you have memories of the Muni?
I do. I love Mike. I love him to death. I've done some work at the Muni. When you're between your Broadway shows, the Muni is the next best thing.
Yes.
It's a wonderful um, place for artists to thrive.
Mhm.
And the funny thing is, I'm used to doing Broadway shows where we rehearse for 4 to 6 weeks. The Muni,
No.
oh my goodness, they move so fast. You
Yeah.
learn a show in like
Days.
7 to 10 days,
Yes.
but yet the quality is so great. So, especially for those young artists who actually are in or are interested in theater,
Right.
that is the best.
The Muni
You know,
kids.
oh my
Yes.
goodness, you learn so much so quickly.
Right.
If you can do something in 7 to 10 days, then you can definitely do it in 4 to 6 weeks.
I'm glad you brought that up, Alan, because I don't think a lot of people know that. They just go, and it's been 100+ years, right, of
Yes.
this iconic theater, and they have no idea how quickly they are able to bring that to life for us. Again, if you're just tuning in, you see Alan Mingo Jr. As Alan said, he's been involved in so much, and we now get a chance to see him as the Wiz. So tell me, what is your favorite part of playing this iconic role?
You know what? It changes it changes all the time. Um, my whiz is sort of again, we try to take out bullying, we try to take
Mm.
out him being just overtly mean, and he's sort of a man you hate to love and love to hate. I sort of call him sort of like he's like a Samuel L. Jackson meets a Black Willy Wonka. So you've allowed me to sort of add this sort of used car salesman vibe to him. And in this version, the director also didn't want the Wiz to have any redeeming qualities. And what she meant by that, now for an actor, that's like, what do you mean?
Right.
That's every character needs to have a redeeming quality. And she goes, well, normally like in The Wizard of Oz, and even in The Wiz, when he gets caught, they try to make up for their sort of deceit by sort of giving the scarecrow a diploma, giving the Tin Man a heart around his neck. Yeah, in this version, much like I said before, she wanted kids to understand sometimes adults lie and they just leave. So my whiz, he comes in when he gets caught and goes, oops, oops, I'm leaving, peace out. And sort of leaves them to sort of have to figure out that they have already inside what they always needed. They
Mm.
don't need an adult to actually let them know.
Oh.
So I thought that was actually very clever. Again, I fought it all the way, but ultimately, I think it was the best choice.
Absolutely. And again, you mentioned earlier, it's interesting for me, and I always tell my husband this, even if you fall in love with the character, and again, you mentioned Richard Pryor. I mean, we can go all the way
Oh,
back. So, right? So,
yes,
1,672 performances. The original production ran for 4 years.
yes,
And on Broadway, 1978 film adaptation starring, again, Diana Ross,
yes,
Mabel King, Richard Pryor, Lena Horne, the great Lena Horne, Mark
yes,
Quincy Jones' first collaboration with Michael Jackson, by the way. The most recent
yes,
Broadway revival then played from March to August of 24 at the Marquis Theater in New York City. And now we're blessed to have it coming here to St. Louis. But here's what I always tell my husband and everybody else. You can go,
yes,
you can fall in love with someone, Alan, and then you go and, oh my gosh, here it is. It's coming through again. You can't do the comparison. That is
right,
my husband does it all the time of, oh, I've
yes,
used, right? So he could fall in
yes.
love with Alan, but then how do you give the next person that's coming up that plays the Wiz years after you haven't a chance again to fall in love with them?
Yes, I think when the performer is authentic, they open themselves up for someone to fall in love with them again.
Mm,
Of course, people like to compare, and as a performer, it's sometimes a pitfall, but there's no comparison. Just by a new individual playing it, it's going to breathe a new life into it. So for me, I would say when the actors or the performers are authentic,
yep,
it's it makes it uncomparable.
I agree. Well, it's funny because we were watching the PBS production of Les Miserables, and
Yes.
Alfie, who is brings my husband to tears every time he sings. We just
Yes.
saw Les Mis just last week, and he's like, he's not going to be as good. I'm like, stop it.
Already before he even sees that. Yes. Yes.
It's crazy. Okay, so I know I was looking at your Instagram and you were in Nashville. And so, in the time that you are in these different cities, do you team up and teach different classes? Because I saw that you were doing that in Nashville. Are you doing anything like that to, again, help out younger here in St. Louis?
Sure. I mean, usually they contact me and say
Uh,
they're interested in having a master class of some
yeah.
sort, and I always do that. I actually love sort of, they actually inspire me more. They give me more sort of joy by doing things like that than I do them.
Mhm.
Um, Seeing the spark in young performers, there's no other joy.
Yeah.
Because I remember what it was like for me. It's sort of what the Wiz has done for me. You begin to see people that look like you,
Mhm.
or they sort of maybe speak your language when you're sort of young and you're not sure, even if you want to do this.
Right.
And I'm not trying to always make someone a professional performer.
Sure.
Sometimes I just want them to have an appreciation for the arts
Yep.
and all that art brings. And for me, I don't want to get on the soapbox, but I know that a lot of times we're taking art out of school, and I say art is in everything.
Yep.
It's in sports. It's in
Absolutely.
the uniforms they wear, as
Yep.
I would say, costumes. But the uniforms they wear, the colors you see, what we see on the TV screen, what we see in social media, is all the
Yep.
cars that you love to drive.
Yep.
All of these are designed by artists. And so for me, my goal is never to make everyone sort of at a professional level where I am. Sometimes I just want you to understand that and have an appreciation for the arts.
I'm right there with you, and we can go there because
Yes.
well, and again, we talk about how do we develop those young minds? How do we develop their confidence? You give them the arts, it allows their creativity to play out. It allows them
Yes.
to have eye to eye contact. It allows them to maybe become something that they don't feel that they can be because someone else told them that they couldn't, right? It gives
Yes.
them the confidence to then go on, speak, right? Even in
Yes.
regular eye to eye communication. Yes,
Yes.
my mom always says, Monica, you used to be shy, which people are like, there's no way Monica was ever shy. I was, but the arts
Yes.
allowed me to come out of that shell, to sing. I played the saxophone. I love dancing. So she's like, if
Yes.
it wasn't for the arts, look how different a person could be.
Yes, yes. But there are CEOs who
Mhm.
take acting classes.
Mhm.
There are, I mean, the architects there's so much that art involves
Right,
that, I mean, the list is endless. And so, like you said, it can spark in an individual something they never imagined them doing. And then
right.
you find out 10 years later, I've had some acting students who are like, I'm an architect now.
Yeah,
I started getting into drawing and drafting, but it started with you working with us on monologues, and you may think that's a big jump, but it's not.
right.
It's not a big jump at
Right.
all.
So again, if you are just tuning in late, Alan Mingo Jr., we're talking about The Wiz coming to the Fabulous Fox Theater here in St. Louis. Again, great right time during the holidays. Get the
Yes.
family. Maybe it's the very first thing you ever introduce your kids, your grandkids, nieces, nephews, godchildren. I love bringing my godchild to the arts and say, here, let's find
Uh,
what you fall in love with. So tell me about the holidays for yourself. Where do you celebrate Thanksgiving, Christmas?
this Thanksgiving, we'll be spending it with each other, the cast,
Yep, that's
because we're
family.
there for 2 weeks. And then after St. Louis, we have one more stop, and then actually we get a wonderful gift. We get 2 weeks off, which is very
Wow.
rare for a
Yeah,
national tour.
no kidding.
Very, very rare. So I'll get to go back home to Maryland and spend some time with my family for a little while before we sort of gather together and get back out touring after the new year.
What's your favorite memories for Christmas?
Two. One, we used to have, and I don't even know where it came from. My family likes to have talent shows on Christmas. At
Awesome.
this point, I don't do them, but as a kid, I remember all of my little cousins. We would figure out what we're doing, what we're singing in front of our sort of forcing our, uncles and aunts to sit through a talent show. Now that I'm older, they would still want me to sing, and at this point,
Sure.
I go, family, I love you. I don't want to work
Again,
on
right?
Christmas.
Oh my gosh,
They
Alan,
still
you're so right.
try. They still try.
You think about a person that's a chef and it's like, oh great, you're here, cook for it. No.
Yes. Yes. I want the day off. Yes. Secondly, it's just sort of as you get older, you sort of appreciate your friends and family. Um and they remind you of the stock in which you grew up in. And so it kind of reminds me of the Wiz. It's kind of like you have your tribe, your people,
Mhm.
and sometimes in just a short a period of time, you sort of flashback the things that they taught you, the things that you've learned from them. Um, and as I get older, I actually appreciate that more.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? Just sitting down having a conversation, and you go, "Oh my God, I remember when you told me this,
Yep.
and now I
Absolutely.
always think of that." But
Well,
so that sort of warm feeling of family sort of is great.
well, and you mentioned earlier that you are here with the cast from The Wiz, so they become
Yes,
family.
they are family.
Right?
Yes,
We all think about
yes,
where we go every morning. We go to work. Those people become like family. You're with them
they do.
sometimes more than you are with your own family, which is not the best.
Indeed,
We have to find work life balance. So tell
that's
me,
true.
outside of work, what are some of your absolute favorite things to do?
I don't like to admit this, but I'll tell you.
Okay.
I'm a big gamer.
Oh,
Always
really?
have been.
Interesting. What's your
Yes.
favorite?
I used to be World of Warcraft, which people think is weird for me now. And the thing is, I'm in a group called a guild, which is formed of individuals who are all in the business,
Okay. Yeah.
directors, writers, theater administrators, crew members, and we're all playing a game called Valheim right now, which I won't go into, but it's sort of like you're building your own world and fighting all these creatures. It's one of those things I do to decompress
I was going to say it's an
from the
outlet.
show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yes.
How many times have you been to St. Louis?
Oh my goodness. This would be my fifth
Yep.
time? Fifth
So
time, yeah.
I just love to see the evolution of our art scene, of our food scene. So, what are you excited to do while you're in St. Louis?
Well, first of all, I can't wait to get back into the Fox. I
Yes.
mean, there's only a few foxes, foxes around. I guess that's fabulous fox. There's only a few. They are magical places.
Amen.
I've never done the St. Louis Arch.
Oh, that's a must.
And
You're not
I've been there.
claustrophobic, are you?
Uh, a little bit, but I have to do it because I remember being there the first time. I was Simba and Lion King there for the
Yeah.
first time.
Yep.
And we were there for weeks. I want to say 6 weeks. So in a way, St. Louis feels like, going back home. I think the last time I was there was Donkey and Shrek.
Okay.
And most of the time I don't do the touristy things just because I like to sleep. And my work hours are I need to be at my best at 8
Yep.
p.m.
Yep.
So I never like to get up at 9. A lot of people will say, "Why didn't you get up at 9? What did you let the whole day waste away?" And I go, "But no, my job is actually be at my best at 8 p.m." So for me, sleep was a important thing.
Sure.
Now I realize I've gotten to see the country now 6 times on 6 national tours, but there are a lot of things I haven't done. So this time I'm being more conscious of when I visit cities to actually go visit some of their highlights.
Well,
Um,
absolutely. I mean,
the
the
food
art,
was always a
sure.
highlight, but the
Yeah.
arch is one of those things I wanted to do. Sorry.
The Arch. No, no, no. The Arch.
Yeah.
I mean, Forest Park. We have an amazing Forest Park.
Yes.
The zoo, even though it might be a little
The
cold,
zoo.
the zoo is incredible and it's free. I mean, we are
Yeah.
so proud of it.
Oh,
Yes, it's
that I
free.
didn't know.
It's
Okay.
it's amazing. And then, of course, as I said, we've got an incredible food scene. What's some of your favorite cuisine?
I love a good barbecue.
Okay.
I'm a big pork fan, and that's not necessarily great to say these days since we have a lot of vegan, gluten-free. And look, I admire those. We have a lot of them in the cast.
I'm sure.
Oh my God, in the Broadway version, we would have things all the time, but it was always gluten-free and always vegetarian. And for me,
Yeah.
who still loves meat,
Give
sometimes I'm
me
like, well,
some
can I at
meat.
least get a little something that's, if I get another gluten-free macaroni and cheese, I'm going to hurt someone. So even for this Thanksgiving, as I'm
Give me
being
the
conscious
turkey.
of those who have different eating habits, I just want something that is.
resemble Thanksgiving meal.
That I want to feel guilty about eating. Just something.
So, well, from a barbecue standpoint, St. Louis obviously has some incredible ones. And I'll give a shout out to them. I just recently had Adam's Smokehouse. So put it down. It is
Ooh.
unbelievable. And it's actually tied to the gentleman behind Pappy's, which a lot of people talk about Pappy's here. You can't go
Yes.
wrong.
Okay.
St. Louis has some really good. We also, if you like Italian, you got to go on the hill and eat some
I love
Italian food.
Italian.
Yes.
I
Yes.
love Italian. I have a long history with Italy, so it better be good.
It's the Italian neighborhood, but I will tell you, just off of the hill, and they regularly get top Italian in St. Louis, is the wonderful family that owns Trattoria Marsala. So I'm gonna give you a bunch to put on your list. And then, have
All
you
right, I
had
love
Ted
it.
Drew's? I mean, we're known for our concrete ice cream.
I have not.
Okay,
Now
you're
that
like,
I'm going to
Monica,
have
don't
to
give me too
try.
much. I don't want to gain
Yeah.
weight.
Well, no, well, ice cream is actually my weakness.
Oh, okay, watch out.
So that's a definitely going to try that.
So
Yes.
if you eat all of this, obviously you're on stage, but what do you do to stay in great shape?
I like to go walking. Usually the first day, I like to go feel out my surroundings, just my immediate surroundings, and find those places that I think normal people like to find. Your CVS, your grocery store, your drug stores, your grocery stores, the things that you're going to be going to more often. And once I figure that out, then I begin to explore them a little bit more. But I'm a big walker.
Okay.
Never runner, big walker, and I dance in the show, which is really, really odd for the Wiz to dance, but you get to see this version. But I walk a lot. I would say
Well,
I would clock 3 to 5 miles a day of just walking and getting to explore the city that way.
your best bet then, I don't know where you're all staying, but is to walk Forest Park. I mean, you'll love it. It's beautiful. Again, if you're just tuning in, we're talking about the Wiz. Tickets are available. By the way, the Baltimore Sun raves powerhouse performances, stunning choreography, visionary sets. The Chicago Sun-Times proclaims the Wiz is an eye-popping and high-intensity revival. So it is coming to the Fabulous Fox November 25th through December 7th. Before we wrap up, Alan, what do you want audiences to feel and to be talking about for not just days, but weeks and years to come?
Well, my most proudest moment of taking this across the country is that we are actually introducing this to a brand new audience. And so, what I would love 10 years from now, 20 years from now, people are still talking about this revival and doing what they've done to me, going, my grandmother, my aunt brought me to the version of that the Fabulous Fox on his 50th year anniversary, and now I'm bringing my niece or nephew. I mean, I don't think I could ask for anything more. It's one of the reasons why I decided um, to continue with this piece after Broadway. Normally performers will tend to say, once
Yep.
I do the Broadway show, I'm great. It's on my resume. At this point, I'm not trying to build my resume. I'm trying to do meaningful work.
Right.
And this is why I'm going across the country during the 50th year anniversary.
I love it. And then besides obviously being on stage, you're involved in a lot of other things from a TV standpoint as well. What else can we see you in as we go into 26?
Well, my Doom Patrol, I'm really proud of. I'm hoping to get a spin-off on
Okay.
that very soon. And I'm starting to get into more producing. Back in the day, I have been producing while performing, but back then they would poo-poo it. They wanted me to give up my acting, dancing shoes to actually produce. And now the world has opened up a little bit more for performers to produce. So stay tuned. On my social media, I'll be letting you know
Yep.
some exciting new projects that I'm working on.
Absolutely. And here it is again for all of you. You can follow not only Alan, but also the Wiz itself. So Alan's on Instagram at Alan Mingo Jr. And then go online to wizmusical.com, head to the show, take the pictures and tag them, as we mentioned early, at the Wiz B Way, the Wiz Broadway on X, Instagram, and Facebook. My friend, I am hoping that, so I told my connection over at the Fox that
Yes.
we're heading out of town for the holidays, obviously for Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Opening night though is the night that we were going to be leaving. I'm trying to get that to where we'll leave the next morning so that I can come see you.
Oh, fingers
I know.
crossed.
I don't
Fingers
want to miss
crossed.
it because again, well, we're gonna do this. Will you sing it with me? Ease on down.
Sure.
Ready? Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Come
Ease on,
on
oh,
and
ease
ease
on
on
down,
down, ease on
ease on
down
down
the
the road.
road.
Come
Come
on in,
on,
ease
ease on
on
down
down
the
the road.
road.
You are a blast, my friend. Thank you. I hope that St. Louis treats you incredible and excited to see you on stage. Again, crossing my fingers in person.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. Tickets are on sale right now. Again, let's get you ready for it.
Come on in, he's on down the road. Come on, he's on down the road. Don't you carry nothing that might be alone. Come on, he's on down the road.
When you want to feel good, you work out at Crunch. Here, because here feels bad. But here we help you feel good, feel strong, feel rejuvenated.
Join Crunch Fitness today.
What a blast. What a packed show. And so a lot of you may have had to run off to work, school, or you're just getting a chance to see this afternoon. Thank you again to Angie Hess, to Jeff Lovecchio, and to Alan Mingo Jr. for a huge show, again, on so many levels. And we'll be turning a lot of reels and stories from today's show. All right, I promised to give away a family 4-pack of tickets, or a couple of friends that go together, or couples to go together. It's for tomorrow night's show, The Wiz, at the Fabulous Fox Theater. It opens up tonight, by the way, opening night tonight, and then it will run through December 7th. Alan Mingo Jr. has done a ton of things on Broadway. Here's the question, and I told you to pay attention. First person who can tell me what role in Shrek he played, I'm giving you those tickets, okay? As I said, he played a lot of different roles. He's going to play the Wiz now in the Wiz, which will be open up tonight at the Fox. Tickets are available. Get your tickets. But tell me, what role did he play in Shrek that I had fun with when he just mentioned that? And I will give you those tickets. Family 4-pack of tickets going to who? You and friends. Make sure that you're available for that show tomorrow night. Best of luck to you. All right, as we wait for your response, or maybe we get it later on a replay, just a reminder of some big shows coming up. First of all, December 5th, after we all celebrate for Thanksgiving, we're going to get together and get you ready for the holiday, and it is going to be with multiple businesses. Thank you to Upshot Coffee in Cottleville, Blooming Daisy Marketplace, and Oh My Posh Boutique in Cottleville. All of these from 9 a.m. until about 11, probably 11:30. We're going to have our big show celebrating a wonderful milestone, 750 shows for the holiday season. If you haven't done your shopping yet, this is an opportunity for you. And then if not, you don't get everything you need, you got a little more on your list, then you come to our December 12th show, which is at Christopher's in Kirkwood. Life is like a precious pearl. In fact, Mark Coulter, who owns Christopher's, he is going to be with us tomorrow. Instead of a Foodie Friday, we're going to do a Whipping It Up Wednesday, and he will be making some incredible food using some of the packets and seasonings and things that he has at Christopher's. So if you don't think about kitchen items when you go to Christopher's, you should. They literally have, it's a one-stop shop. They have something for everyone. So December 5th, December 12th, 2 big shows. His show, by the way, will be at 7 a.m. We're so excited for this. All right, so I'm going to give you some time. I'll be looking at the comments. So if you watch this later, I will be giving away a family 4-pack of tickets to whoever can tell me, the first comment in here, who Alan Mingo Jr. played in Broadway's The Shrek. Now you can see him tonight on stage through December 7th, playing The Wiz in The Wiz. All right, good luck to all of you. Have a beautiful day again tomorrow. A Whipping It Up Wednesday with Mark Coulter. Will be in the Slyman Brothers kitchen, whipping something up good. Have a beautiful day, everybody. Remember what we always ask you to do. Believe in yourself, but the greatest thing you can be in life is kind. God bless you all.